Welcome to our gripping true crime video, Unveiling Aileen Wuornos, inside the mind of a female serial killer. Join us on a thought-provoking journey into the psyche of one of history's most notorious female killers. Prepare to delve deep into the complexities of Aileen Wuornos' life, crimes, and the haunting questions surrounding her motivations. Aileen Wuornos was born in Rochester, Michigan, and had a troubled upbringing. Her father was absent, and her mother abandoned her and her brother at a young age. Wuornos experienced a tumultuous childhood, growing up in various foster homes and facing a history of abuse. Crimes. Wuornos embarked on a killing spree between 1989 and 1990. Targeting men who picked her up while she worked as a sex worker. She would shoot her victims at close range and rob them of their belongings. Wuornos claimed that her crimes were acts of self-defense against men who had assaulted or attempted to assault her. Modus operandi. Wuornos would often meet her victims in secluded areas, such as remote locations or empty parking lots. After engaging in sexual encounters with them, she would shoot them multiple times using a handgun. Wuornos would then rob the victims of their money and belongings before leaving the scene. Capture and trial. Wuornos was arrested in 1991 after being implicated in the murder of Richard Mallory. During her trial, she confessed to killing several men, asserting that she acted in self-defense. However, prosecutors argued that her motives were primarily financial gain. Wuornos was convicted of 6 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. Psychological profile. Aileen Wuornos displayed traits consistent with several psychological disorders, including antisocial personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. Her troubled childhood, history of abuse, and involvement in sex work likely contributed to her distorted view of relationships and her propensity for violence. Wuornos' actions were likely influenced by a combination of psychological factors, including her traumatic past, her experiences as a sex worker, and her troubled mental state. Legacy. The case of Aileen Wuornos garnered significant media attention and sparked debates regarding the death penalty, mental illness, and the effects of childhood trauma on criminal behavior. Wuornos' life and crimes have been the subject of documentaries, books, and films, capturing public interest and raising questions about the intersection of violence, trauma, and mental health. It is important to remember that Wuornos' crimes caused immeasurable pain and loss to her victims and their families. The study of her life and actions should always be approached with sensitivity and respect for those affected by her violent acts. Trauma and self-defense theory. One theory suggests that Wuornos' history of childhood abuse and traumatic experiences contributed to her violent acts. Growing up in a chaotic and abusive environment, Wuornos may have developed a heightened sense of danger and a deep-seated fear of men. This theory proposes that her murders were driven by a perceived need to protect herself from perceived threats and reclaim power and control in her life. Wuornos may have believed that she was acting in self-defense against men whom she perceived as potential attackers or abusers, even if the threat was not immediate or real. Psychological desperation and survival theory. Another theory explores the idea that Wuornos' actions were motivated by desperation and survival instincts. As a sex worker facing significant challenges and a history of trauma, Wuornos may have felt trapped in a dangerous and exploitative lifestyle. This theory posits that her murders were an extreme response to her circumstances, driven by a desperate attempt to escape a life of victimization and reclaim control over her own existence. Wuornos may have resorted to violence as a means of asserting power and eliminating potential threats to her survival. These theories aim to provide possible insights into the motivations and psychological factors that may have influenced Wuornos's actions. It is important to note that the study of serial killers is complex, and these theories are speculative explanations that attempt to understand the mindset of Aileen Wuornos. Understanding the true motivations and underlying psychological complexities of individuals like Wuornos is challenging, as their actions often defy conventional reasoning. The case of Aileen Wuornos continues to be a subject of analysis and study in the field of criminology, as experts seek to gain further insights into the complex interplay of trauma, survival instincts, and violence. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the dark realm of serial killers. We hope this video has provided you with valuable insights and a deeper understanding of these complex and haunting figures. If you found this content thought-provoking and informative, we would greatly appreciate your likes, comments, and shares